and welcome back to the channel. Jcfigz here, and today we're going to review the official UFC Legacy Replica Belt. Alright, so the UFC Legacy Championship belt was unveiled in 2019 and has been used since then. A lot of old school people don't really like the design. I, however, do like this design. It looks pretty clean. It's grown on me. When I first looked at this belt back in 2019, I wasn't a big fan of it because I did like that classic look, because it looked more like a professional wrestling world heavyweight title. And I just really enjoyed that old school UFC design with the cage background and the center plate and all that. But this one's not too bad. It has grown on me, like I said. So let's start off with the strap here. You can see the center plate does have a bit of a curve, and the faux leather strap is actually pretty floppy. And yes, it is faux leather. This is not on a real leather strap, but you can see that the strap does flop over pretty well for it being faux leather. Then we'll go ahead and start off with the right side of this strap here. On the very end of the right side, there is the UFC logo stitched into the strap, and then there's another pattern surrounding the snap box, and bordering the entire strap is an octagon logo. So you can see tiny little octagons all around this entire strap. And we have a 9x2 male snap box on the right side. And then we move on to the side plate, and there is stitching in the shape of an octagon bordering the side plate. And inside of this side plate it says UFC World Champion. And you can see the outline of a globe underneath the word champion. And there are 8 jewels around this side plate that look beautiful. And these plates on this belt are very thick. I think the side plate is at least 5 or maybe even 6 millimeters thick. Move on down to the left and you see a gold plate accenting the center plate, and there is stitching around that plate as well. That combines with the center plate stitching. So the center plate stitching goes all the way around the center plate and the accent plates on the outside as well. The center plate on this belt is beautiful. It's not exactly the same as the actual UFC belt that UFC uses, and neither are the side plates here. On the actual UFC title, this right side plate features the name and weight class of the champion in the center. And every time that champion defends their title, one of these clear stones are replaced with red stones or rubies. And on the center plate here, we have 8 flags bordering the center plate. And those 8 flags represent the first 8 countries to win a world championship in the UFC. And those 8 champions are as follows: USA, Mark Coleman; Canada, Carlos Newton; Brazil, Murilo Bustamante, sorry if I butchered your name; Netherlands, Bas Rutten; Poland, Joanna, not even gonna try and pronounce that last name; and then we have Belarus, Andrei Arlovsky; UK, Michael Bisping; and Ireland, Conor McGregor. So those are the first 8 countries that won a UFC championship. There's also 25 stones surrounding the center plate, and those stones represent 25 years of the UFC. Now remember, even though this particular replica belt was made in 2022, it still has the 25 jewels representing 25 years because the Legacy title was introduced in 2019. At the top of the center plate it says World in gold, so it kind of blends in with the banner as well because the banner is gold. Then it says UFC in giant letters in the center, and the texturing behind the UFC letters is kind of like nugget texturing. However, on the actual UFC championship, there is a different design behind those UFC letters, and it looks a lot better than this nugget texturing in my opinion. It's unfortunate they did not include that artwork with their replica belt. Underneath where it says UFC, it says champion in gold again with a gold background. And then below the word champion are Roman numerals that represent the inaugural year that the UFC was established in 1993. Below the Roman numerals we have more diamonds and flags like we talked about earlier. So the bottom of the center plate and the top are both silver, and then on the sides it's gold. Moving down to the left we have that accent plate again. And then beyond that is another side plate. This one says UFC World Champion, just like the right side. And on the actual UFC Championship, this plate is the same. And there are 8 stones surrounding this side plate again. Moving down to the left end of the strap, we have a 7x2 female snap box. And you can see the texturing around that snap box again, and the tiny little octagon texturing around the outside of the faux leather strap again there. At the very end of the strap, we have a double-sided double-sided gold tip, and on the top of that gold tip it says UFC in silver. Very nice looking tip there. Now on the back of the belt, you can see all of the screws or the bolts are showing, so they're not covered on this replica belt. And then you can see the UFC official stamp in the center there. Now let's go ahead and try this belt on and see how it fits and feels around the waist. Alright, let's start off with some dimensions here. The length of this strap is approximately 50 inches long. The height is about 12 inches. The main plate is 11.5 inches by 9.5 inches. And the side plate is 4.25 inches by 4.25 inches. Now let's go ahead and try this bad boy on. As always, I'll put the belt on by myself. So I don't have Dana White here to put the strap around my waist, unfortunately. I'm not that good of a fighter. Been in a couple scraps back in the day, but I'm no pro. Alright, so now I got about, let's see, 4 snaps together here, and alright, I got this bad boy turned around, and this strap is pretty comfortable. Now on the UFC store website it does say that this is 100% leather. I'm not sure exactly if it is or not, but the leather strap on this thing is very, very thick. It's pretty comfortable though, it's not too bad. This plate is gigantic in the center plate here. And again, it does have a slight curve. It's not very curved like some of the wrestling belts that I own, but there is a slight curve to it. So in terms of comfortability, it's not the worst, but it's definitely not the best either. It does look pretty darn good around the waist though, and if I bend down, bend left, bend right, backwards, it does stay snapped together. It's fastened very, very well, no issues there. I can even feel how tight it is or how snug the snaps are. It feels incredibly secure, honestly. If you want to pick one of these up, you can shop at the UFC store right now. I believe they're retailing for about $8.50. However, I think it might be a little bit of a newer model than this one. Again, this is the 2022 replica belt. I'm sure now the stamp on the back of the belt says 2024, but I don't know for sure if there are any actual updates to the replica belt itself. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think this belt is worth $850? Let me know in the comments below. And now, just because I like to give you guys a comparison every time I do a belt review, at the top I have the 2013 Classic UFC Championship replica belt. And then at the bottom, just for size comparison and price comparison, is the official AEW World Championship. Now the AEW World title is also retailing for about $850. However, one thing I will say about the AEW title is that the strap on that belt is 100% faux leather. It is not actual leather at all. The strap is very, very stiff, unlike the official UFC Legacy belt. However, the plates on the AEW title are beautiful, and the stones look incredible as well. The detailing all over the plates is just insane. If you want to see a full review of this belt, definitely check it out on my channel. But the plates on the official UFC are also very nice and thick. You can see just how thick they are right there. And they look great. And the faux leather strap, if it is a faux leather strap, it might actually be 100% leather like the UFC store website does say. I believe it's probably partly real leather and a little bit of faux leather mixed in there too. Of course, the classic UFC title from 2013 is 100% faux leather as well. And you can see just how beat up that strap really is. The plates are very thin on this 2013 title as well, probably about 2 or 3 millimeters. And I will do a full review of that classic 2013 UFC Championship also. If you guys would like to see that, let me know in the comments below. follow me on Instagram at JC_Figs because I will be posting anytime the UFC store or even Amazon has this belt on sale, or other UFC or MMA belts, even wrestling replica championship belts. I post sales for all of those titles all the time. And if you need accessories for your replica belts like replacement jewels, wall hangers, belt bags, stuff like that, you can shop at figurestoycompany.com and use discount code Jcfigz to save 10% off your orders. If you're an action figure collector like me, you can shop at entertainmentearth.com and use discount code Jcfigz to save 10% there also. Or if you're a big workout buff like I am, you like to get jacked and juicy, you need some supplements, pre-workout, protein shakes, shop at redcon1.com and use discount code Jcfigz to save 20% off your orders. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.